Hey guys, welcome back. So we've been working a little bit, show you what we got. We made these plates last time and got them cut out, and we just got them installed on the car. So let's get some light going. Got them welded in. We kind of sanded and grinded the welds back halfway decent, at least on this front where you're going to see them. Not so much on the bottom or this side. But those plates are in. We cleaned the face of them so we can weld to them nice. And those are looking good. I ended up using some thinner plate here. It's like 16th thick or so. You can see the top of it there. But it actually looks pretty good. And then of course, these are what's going here next. So it's going to go... Try to film that. Let's see. There we go. Something like this. We got to work out exactly where it's going, but I think it's going pretty much like you see it. Somewhere down here towards the bottom. Squared up decently. About like that. And that'll be our frame extensions. We're gonna have to mock all this up. We did our best to get these plates square, and they're pretty damn close. So we measured like this angle here is pretty much dead on, and vertically this one's 0.4 degrees off, this one's dead on. So happy with that. Like I said, we're about to mock up the plates, or sorry, the tube extensions. Don't know how we're gonna mock them up. May just end up having to hold them and tack them and then adjust them. We'll see. We're going to get those in place. At least get them tack welded. Yeah, I guess we're probably going to do that. I guess we're going to put them on there, get them where we think they go, tack them. Then probably install all the fender jig stuff. Like you can see those front clips are laying down there with the negative jig things. So probably start putting all that in and just kind of check everything, make sure it looks like these are in the correct spot. And when we're all happy with it, we can start get them welded out. Check this out. So what we did... We've got this sitting on a lift, little post right here, roughly balanced. And I bought this magnetic clamp a while back, and I got it pushing to help hold it flush. And then we essentially rotated this to get our angle. And you can see it's not zero, but that's because the car is on the lift and it's tilted this way at 0.9 degrees, roughly. So I've got this at something really close to 0.9 degrees as well. And we're putting this bottom corner roughly flush, and then because this is square and that's not, so that's basically our lineup. That gives us room on either side and on the bottom to get a weld bead in there to tie that all together. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to grab the TIG welder. I'm probably going to put like 4 little tack welds on this so it won't move, and probably tack the other side, and then we're just going to kind of check and make sure we're happy with the alignment before we commit to any further welding. But this mock-up, having it on a lift and using that thing, worked way better. I had no idea how I was going to do this. And also putting the plates. I was trying to do this without plates earlier, and it totally didn't work. This is way easier, so little thing to remember. If I ever have to do something similar to this, I'll remember to do it that way. Alright, so this is going to be a kind of an interesting little section if you ask me. So we are redoing some of our work, but I don't think it's going to be that bad, and it might even be a good way of doing it. So as you'll see, I've cut these welds at the top, not the bottom, but at the top, and I'm bowing the top out. And the reason is this tube was kicked up at an angle. Now, what I did was I measured this sill. I consider this to be flat. So what I did was I put a ruler, or like a level on this, and I put my angle finder on top, and the car is tilting down right now at 0.55 degrees. Half a degree over there, 0.55 over here. So about the same. Basically half a degree downward towards the front, so the front's going down. So what you'll see is I've got this at 0.57. It's pretty much the same, but it wasn't earlier. Earlier it was actually kicked up. Now this one over here is wrong too. Here we should be half a degree down, and we're only down like 0.27, so this needs to come down a little. And then if I look at this, you'll note this is also not showing level, which is fine. The car right now is angled this way at 0.9 degrees. And if I measure it, let me show you. Take my angle finder. We're a little short. We need to go this way a little bit more. But when we drop this corner is going to go down some because it needs to go down a little, which is going to cause this to tilt more that way, which will help at this angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm fixing to tack the two that I cut here. So this should be at 0.55 or something close, and it roughly is. That takes a minute to settle out. But we're going to adjust this until that's roughly 0.55, 0.57. And then we're going to put a couple of tacks. And then we're going to go over there to the other side And we got to cut those tacks and adjust that slightly. And after we do that, we'll check that this angle should be close to 0.9. And if it is, then we know we've kind of squared everything up. So we're going to double check this one. I'm going to put a longer piece here. I've got it right here. I have to adjust this one. But basically, let me see, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so now you can see we put this long piece on here, so that kind of like gives us a nice datum. And we put our dial or our indicator on top, the digital readout, and we're targeting 0.55. We're within 1/100th of a degree, so good to go there. And I've got my shim adjusted, and so what I'm going to do without touching anything, right where it's at, is going to reach up here and tack weld that corner. Hopefully it doesn't move. I'll tack weld that other corner that we cut, and then we'll go to the other side and adjust that one and try to get this thing dialed in. Okay, so we just put our tacks on. Let's see, tacked back up. We're showing pretty much 1/2 degree. So we were targeting between 0.5 and 0.55. Looks like we're at 0.48 now. So pretty damn close. We're within 100ths of a degree. Let's check here. We're targeting 0.9, but we shouldn't be there yet. Looks like we're actually close. Let's check the angle. Let me pop this off real quick. Bring you just a second. Okay, so now we're on the other side of the car, and we're at 0.23, and this needs to be that 0.55 as well, or 0.5. So we got to move this one just a tiny bit down. And when we do, that'll help this angle get closer to the 0.9 that we're targeting. So I'm going to cut these welds. We're going to bump that down a little, but we're going to check both of those numbers at the same time and go from there. Okay, so we got this other side tacked in again. So we ended up redoing both, but now we've got this leaning at 0.9 degrees, which, like I said, the whole car is leaning 0.9 anyway, so we're parallel with the car. This number over here, we were shooting for 0.5, but we ended up going a little less because what happened is we didn't get this height perfectly correct, so this side needed to drop a little bit less so that it worked out correct over here. So this side's at 0.23, that side's at 0.5, but no big deal. Probably the main part is that the fronts are equal, because that's where the front, that's probably more important than the body work. We're going to tie into that. So overall, you know, about a 1/4 degree difference between these two, and I'm pretty happy with it. You can see we got them tacked in. Actually looks okay. I'm happy with it. Here's what it looks like on the inside. So got our frame extensions going on, and think about what to do next. I think we're going to throw the fenders and everything back on and take a look, because we don't want to weld these out just in case we like miss something critical and then we're like, whoops. So I think that's going to be our next move. Wow, that's a cool shot. All the holes kind of line up. Look at that. All right, you can see right through it. Kind of neat. All right, let's get the fenders put on.